let 'em go. I wanna learn how to say a lot more yes and a lot less no. Girl, I wanna dance and shout and love out loud and come alive. Don't wanna be the guy too cool to laugh, too scared to cry. I wanna live like a bottle around the clock on the wall. Shine a light by my smartwatch when I'm all standing. Start again, start again. Be somebody that's moving down.
my buddy Caleb Lee Hutchinson came by recently. We got to talk about where he's at musically, which is a really cool spot. He has released his first full-length album. It's called Southern Galactic. He's working with a producer named Titanic Sinclair, which I feel like that in itself tells you a lot. Like there's gonna be some funky coolness going on here. Titanic have produced Southern Galactic, and I feel like I'm just now getting to know this guy that I've been listening to his music for years, and I mean millions of people know the name Caleb Lee Hutchinson from American Idol, and I want to get a scoop on that kind of bit, being the introduction to him to a lot of people. How was that experience on American Idol?
The best way I can describe it is just kind of the weirdest summer camp of your life.
Okay.
You know? Like it was right after I graduated high school, and I'd never like dreamed of being on a reality like singing show or anything like that.
Did you sign up for it, or did somebody sign you up?
It was a joint decision.
Okay.
I graduated high school. My dad's like, "So what are you gonna do with your life?" And I was like, "You mean you don't want me to stay here? I'm such good company. I'll just hang out until you die." You know. He came to me and like saw on Facebook or something that Idol was coming back, and apart from like growing up and playing in Mexican restaurants and stuff, like I had no connections. And so my
That's
dad
gotta be a good circuit, though.
yeah, dude, I crushed. Dude, at La Bamba.
Yeah.
Dude,
Okay.
killed it there. What's the one in, I think like Los Cowboys. Played there a few times.
Yeah.
Played a couple wineries. There was this place, Uncorked on Main. It was like a family-owned wine bar.
You just got to find your circuit.
Dude, they kept me from having to get a job in high school.
I bet.
They let me play there like every Friday, Saturday. I'd play like 4-hour sets.
And you probably get free fajitas.
Yeah, sometimes I get fajitas.
Yeah.
I was, a child when I played at like the alcohol venues.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of times they'd be like, "We're gonna just put this aside for you." So when I turned 21, I went and picked up like 6 bottles of wine.
Oh, wow.
It was great, yeah.
So, interesting timeline. So cutting your teeth in Mexican restaurants.
Yeah.
And dad saying, "Hit the road, Jack. Here's a tryout."
Yeah.
And turns out you get top 3, and that's a huge year. I mean,
Yeah.
that was Gabby Barrett's year. What was that? I guess the backside of that. What did that feel like when you're coming off the American Idol slide?
Oh, it was super weird. I think like, I don't know, when I was going through that whole thing, like I was 18 when I auditioned, I was 19 when the show finished, and it was strange because I'm sure you talk to people who've done those kinds of things, and you're kind of in your own little bubble when you're doing them.
Yeah.
And I think too, just like to get over the rapid change in environment, going from Mexican restaurants and wineries to national television.
Yeah.
I was just like, this ain't real. I'd like, that's what I would, when I was doing that, because I was never thinking like this is on national TV. I was like, there's like 300 people out here.
Dude,
I've done this before.
It blows my mind even now, because I feel like the attention that probably even said when you were participating is in the hundreds of millions. Like voting up in 9 figures.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and what's interesting is like I got on that first season back
Okay.
with ABC, so like, I grew up with Idol on the TV, like it's an institution. It's clearly like it's kind of the singing show, at least like the OG one. And I wasn't sure if it was like going to be as popular, or not that I don't have great faith in the amazing people over at ABC.
Yeah.
But like we didn't really know what it was going to be. It was the first one back. Like it could have been their last one, But I think it kind of worked out good because I never thought, like when I auditioned, my intention wasn't like I'm gonna win the show or whatever. My whole intention was just maybe I'll get far enough into the process, I'll meet some cool people, some like-minded people, maybe find some people that want to be in Nashville too, and just kind of have that whole thing. And so it was always surprising when I was still there for me. It was just like, okay.
Like sticking around for another week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it was like top 10, and I was like the last country dude, and I was like, I'm gonna be like top 5, just because I have to be.
Yeah.
At this point,
Just for the ratings.
Yeah, like I'm the country dude.
It's so awesome catching up with Caleb Lee Hutchinson. We gotta play some music though off of his new Southern Galactic EP. This is a funky one. This whole thing is just such a vibe. This is Natural Man.
She ain't the kind to hold you like
Picking up on that, Southern Galactic. That's Caleb Lee Hutchinson, who is my guest on today's show. And he comes to Nashville after his time on American Idol, basically to find himself. I mean, I feel like that's kind of the wake of these shows for a lot of people. They were in front of millions of households every night, and then it's like, okay, and let's start over. So he got together working on his music, and gets teamed up with several different producers through the years. The first one, I think, is the coolest, or a very, very cool subject to talk about. Christian Bush, who is one half of the country duo Sugarland. What was the connection there?
Well, it's nice to set the precedent for Megan. I really think
Yeah.
like
Help him find his sound.
I haven't got my gift card yet, or
Yeah.
like my edible arrangement,
Okay.
but I know it's coming.
Yeah.
No, the Christian thing was just wild. I moved to town, got with my manager. At the time, my manager was like working with Christian,
Mhm.
so it was kind of just a happy accident of we had to record some songs, and Christian was down to do it, and it was super cool for me because I hadn't moved to town yet, I don't think, and or maybe I just had, but we recorded the stuff down in Atlanta, so I got to like go stay with my parents and just drive to the studio every morning, and that was one of the cooler things, just sitting in his studio and looking at all these like plaques and awards on the walls. And I was 19 then, and I just remember at that time just being like, I'm gonna do whatever this dude says. Like, he would ask me questions. I'm like,
cool.
why are you asking me anything, dude? Like, you got the Grammy. Like, you tell me. Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
I'm seeing.
Well, that's a great way to go about it. Of being a sponge. Some people go in and think they know everything, and they're
yeah.
God's gifts to the world.
My greatest gift is my knowledge that I know nothing.
Right.
Like, in the grand scheme of things, at anything.
So you get from there. You also work with Brent Cobb, which is
Yeah.
I feel like that was at both of y'all's kind of. He was just getting into production.
Yeah, I was his first production.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
It was super cool. I've been a fan of Brent
Yeah.
forever.
Oh, dude.
I used to sing his songs in those Mexican restaurants. And I got to write with Brent, and we ended up writing the title track to the EP, produced Slot Machine Syndrome.
Mhm.
And we were just like talking, kind of struck up a friendship, and we were writing another time, and I jokingly was like, oh, hey man, like, I'm on a budget. If you ever want to produce, I know you got some family that does it. If you want to show them up, I'm your guy. And he was just like, yeah, I would do that.
Yeah.
And just kind of randomly happened. And yeah, working with Brent was a dream come true. It's so cool. Like the producers I've gotten to work with Not that I've worked with a ton, but they've all been really different in their approach. Like, all really great at what they do, clearly,
Totally.
but just like getting to see the different schools of thought, it's made every time really different.
That's super cool. So going from Christian Bush, one half of Sugarland, to Brent Cobb, working with these are the guys who are producing these records. This is a little jump back in time, previous to Southern Galactic. Caleb Lee Hutchinson, the title track, Slot Machine Syndrome.
He ain't never been afraid to roll the dice, matter the cost, he'll pay the price. Rack up on heartache, get by just bluffing, he'll go out, no man. He lives just fine, putting it all on the line. He's got slot machine syndrome. It'll get you when you deal with the devil, that's always one. If you don't think it's true, it can't happen to you. They say you got slot machine syndrome. It'll get you every time. One way down, slot machine syndrome.
The title track from Caleb Lee Hutchinson's kind of middle EP, Slot Machine Syndrome, that was produced by Brent Cobb. And his current project that is out, that is his debut album, is called Southern Galactic. And I was curious if he went in kind of with that as the focus, or if that's something that blossomed like in studio.
That was after.
Okay.
Yeah, so we made the record and got back to Nashville, and I was sitting in a room with my manager Brian and Fletcher, and we were listening through everything, and I was so nervous.
Oh man.
Dude, I've been working with Brian Fraser since I moved to town. I remember when I initially said, like, I want to work with Titanic Sinclair, everyone was a little confused. You know, like, you go listen to stuff, and I get it. It is a confusing concept. And everyone was super supportive, but I think everyone's like, all right, like, this is what you want to do.
Yeah.
And got back, and I remember just sitting there watching, just staring.
Oh wow.
As they were listening, like, heads down. And I think Fletcher said, this is like Western Galactic. And Brian's like, this is Southern Galactic. And I was like, that's mine now. Thanks a lot. I'm taking credit.
Yeah.
So I came up with it.
You said it, but I heard it.
Yeah, I came up with it for sure.
Thanks again to Caleb Lee Hutchinson for coming by and shedding some light on this new project, which I think this is the song for me that sums it all up. Easy, nice little disco, country, ABBA meets, old Western. It's just killer. This is called Silverado.